Hello, everybody. It is your professor, Rocco, you boy, coming at you again with another Age of Sigmar video. In this AoS, I'm going to say masterclass because we're going to be pretty ballsy here. That's going to be a theme today. We are going to be talking about how to come back from behind in a game you got no business in coming back from. This could be tournament play. This could be narrative play. You thought you brought your Path to Glory thing and was like, oh yeah, we're going to play some cool, chill units, and then they show up with a Slan, Croak, 3 Stegodons, and say, yo, what up? And you brought, like an Aether Wing unit and some Liberators. We're gonna talk a little shop here and say what's up. And to assist, we have Rocco, your girl, uh, still behind the camera, but she's gonna be saying some question prompts to me, and I will be responding as such. All right, hit me.
When should I be concerned about losing?
All the time because you're a dirty try. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Generally, if you're still losing but it's close, like battle round 3 to battle round 4, depending on how much damage is flying through your meta, that's when you should be figuring this out. So again, a meta is, in this sense, the armies you regularly play against. If this is a tournament, it's the armies that you're going to be playing against there. And a lot of Age of Sigmar 3rd edition with, again, the rules are nice and streamlined, everything seems good. The thing is, it's built still to be able to dump out enough damage to kill a Mega Gargant a turn. So what happens is, the first battle round, like through second, the first battle round in 3rd edition is generally jockeying for position on the table before you start fighting. Now, sometimes there's armies like Iron Jaws or, say, Kragnos is backing up a bunch of ogres that can actually make and close the distance on these smaller tables and be in your face turn 1. Deepkin are another example of this. It's becoming more prevalent, more popular, prevalent. Take your pick of words there. And you have to be on the lookout for it. And there's a lot of these long range shooting lists where someone's got like a 30-inch sniper unit of some sort or a long range over 20-inch shot, and they're doing damage. It's not what it was in second. So first battle round, you're kind of jacking for position and trying not to get shot or run over by an Alpha Strike army. Battle round 2, the main clash has happened, and either you've already lost horribly, right? And you're just out of it. Because there's 3 states of the game for me. There's you're winning comfortably by doing all the stuff we've taught you, playing a bit more conservatively and all that. There's the game's close. You might be able to claw it back. You're only a few points behind. You do this, that, or the other thing, you're good. And that's what we're talking about today. Or you've been alpha struck, battle round 1, battle round 2, the main melee happened and it did not go good, and you're just playing for secondaries. We're going to be focusing on that second option. So around the end of battle round 2 into battle round 3, or if it's a slower played game where not everyone, again, went out hunting for bear here, battle round 4. So battle round 3, you're going to try to do your swing for greatness, maybe battle round 4, depending on how everyone's armor saves have been going this game.
So, how do I come back from behind if I kept it close?
If you kept it close, you're going to have to go and, put on your thinking cap and go, what is the riskiest, stupidest, high reward thing that I can do to bring this back? We are desperate right now. Right, and this could include a number of things and strategies. Like this could be, you see your opponent has this one really strong unit you haven't been able to really touch throughout the game. You're worried about them maybe getting a good redeploy roll to try to protect them. You see it's a bunch of archers, and they're saving a command point for Unleash Hell. Attacking them is probably going to be a trap because you're going to pay dearly for even attempting to go up there. Unfortunately, desperate times call for desperate measures, and you will need to spring that trap in order to come back and win the game. Then this is that time. Sometimes it's calling for a desperate battle tactic like Slay the Warlord, and your opponent can then respond with by saying that they will use best day ever, as people call it, or in the rules it's actually called their finest hour, which is a rule to give +1 to save and +1 to wound to one of their characters, and they'll use it defensively, which is something on this channel we have taught you to do. Unfortunately, if you're that behind and you know you're going to lose, unless you do some big grand gesture, well, you got to do the big grand gesture now. And, you got to go at it. You got to try. You have to call your shot. This is the time to do it, and this is how. By denying your opponent their general, or trying to be like, yeah, I'm going to go and kill this one unit of battle line of these archers, but I know it's going to hurt. But your opponent also has the grand strategy of hold the line, let's say, where they need to save their battle line units. You think of ways to maximize your points while denying your opponent an important piece of their army, an important synergy, an important damage dealing unit, or maybe even their grand strategy. This is the time to get desperate and do that thing.
And how is this different from the general advice you normally give on the channel?
It's different because, well, it's different because what I normally practice and preach is if you can get objectives without fighting, do that. If you can focus down certain parts of your opponent's army to nullify them, do that. Try to play your own game with the strengths of your army, where this kind of a strategy is bold, it's reckless, it's relying on the dice being good. Straight up. Normally, I try to teach people how to, through list building, through spells, support characters, different pieces of things you can bring before the game starts, to limit how much the dice rolls actually affect your army and how you play. I've even talked about not being a one drop in order to make sure you have enough screens in your army to stop you from dying from an alpha strike, or to have cheap pieces to throw up to be like, okay, cool, they're going to hold my objectives. I don't care if they die. All of this is going pretty much in the face of everything that I've taught you about, because eventually you're going to run into people who think the way that we think and play the way that we do. Maybe they even learned it from watching these videos, And I want you to know and to learn and empower you to make the decision of, okay, I need to swing for the fences right now and do this big grand gesture of a thing to even have a shot at winning. And you know what? Sometimes it's going to look stupid when it doesn't work, because again, you're relying on moving up within range for someone to redeploy, and sometimes they're going to spike that dice and roll a 6 and be out of your charge range. Sometimes they're going to roll a 1 and you're going to look like a mad genius. Sometimes you're going to charge into that unleash hell and they're not going to land a single shot, and then other times your whole unit's going to die. The thing is, with this kind of a strategy and thought process, is just you need to take chances. You need to make these bold strokes. You've protected your hammer units, your offensive units, whether they're melee or shooting or whatever, up to this point for so long. Making one of these attacks might leave them caught out and lose you the game that way. But if you were already going to lose and you were already maximizing your secondary points or whatever, who cares if you lose harder? Just giving yourself the chance to win is worth the risk and worth the attempt. Whether it's for tournament points, it's for some fun narrative game where you started off outnumbered because that was the battle plan, right? Some kind of an ambush or a siege or something cool. You look at these desperate last stands throughout history even, and you're trying to find these ways where these real world generals tried to make it an even battlefield again, or they tried some desperate gambit of turning a flank somewhere, crashing down all their smaller forces on one concentrated part of the enemy's lines to break through, or something happens and then they got to go and get their chance at glory in a much more attainable fashion because this is a war game. Now, we're not asking anyone to die here. We're just asking the dice to cooperate in order to tell this amazing story on the table of your dramatic comeback. This is your opportunity and chance to do that.
And one more question.
Okay.
Would this advice at all change about how to come back from behind if we were in a tournament setting with timing or anything like that?
So, all right. If it's a time situation, it depends on the tournament. Some tournaments still want you to talk out if you could have done battle round 5, what would have happened. Some tournaments are like when dice are down, dice are down. That's it. That's the score. Game over, man. So it depends on the tournament. But if I see like we only have enough time for one more round, and we've played like 3, and we're looking for 4, we played 2, and we're looking for 3. Not that I think any of my games have ever gone to time instead of it being a foregone conclusion one way or the other. But for the sake of the argument here, it's that we've got one final round we could fit in on the clock. We've got half an hour, whatever it is. Then it's time to get desperate, try to seal this bad boy up. If it's we are going to talk out the round 5, I'm going to cripple my opponent's army so that they don't even think they could have scored anything in round 5, hypothetical or otherwise. If it's that close and it's diced down, I'm trying to get the last point that I can, even if after this battle round I wouldn't have been able to score. I'm going to go and swing for the fences and do the thing. Again, that's up to your local tournament organizers and how they want to do that. Both ways are correct. It's one of those things where it depends on the thought process of the tournament organizer, how they want to run it. And you've got to play in that set of parameters because that's what they set forward for you, you know. And for the record, I'm more of a when dice are down kind of guy because again, one dice roll in this game can change an outcome dramatically, and I don't like doing a hypothetical that much when it's a competitive environment. I'm like, let's just see what we've had on the table have happened and just end it there. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to class today. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. I know a bunch of you sign off now at this point, but if you have any questions of topics you want us to cover, because I get a lot of good compliments for our team, my wife and myself. We get a lot of great job, keep it going, do this, do that, love it, love what you do. But we can answer your questions too. Drop a question in the comments. I'll try to reply to it. And if it's more than just I can type out a sentence or two to answer it, I might make it into a video. And with that, I'd like to say at the end of all of our videos, thank you for coming to class, and class dismissed. Bye.